Now, let us also talk about working overseas. Sometimes, when you're in a good MBA college or a good engineering college, you may get a chance to work, let's say, in Middle East. Now, people are also getting jobs in New York. Some of the big engineering colleges like IITs and IIMs also get opportunities to work in London. So, the question I want to ask is that what is the difference? What's the advantage of working overseas? Now, first and foremost, you need overseas is a very generic term. There's a huge difference between working in Middle East and working in London or in New York. So, which country you want to go, which country you got an offer is important. Second, the visa terms are very complicated. The visa in Middle East is very different from the visa in London. After the Brexit, it has become very difficult to get work visas in London. The country specific job boards are available. Supposing I want to apply for a job in London, obviously you can't apply for Naukri.com because Naukri.com doesn't have enough jobs of London being posted in Naukri.com. So you need to research and find out which are the job boards which are popular in London so that I get to know what those jobs are, what are the specifications for the job, etc. The next part is about the local language. Yes, it is true that at work, most of the time you speak English, especially whether you go to London or New York or from Middle East. But outside of work, local languages matter. Not in these three cities. If you get a job to work, for example, now a lot of opportunities are coming up in China. A lot of people are going to get jobs in places like Thailand, in Far East. So the language, local language also matters. You should need to understand, can I speak that language? Then sometimes some countries like Australia, especially Australia, they don't recognize many of the Indian qualifications. So suddenly people go from India and suddenly realize your graduation MBA is not valuable. So it might be a good idea to look at any international certification, qualification can I get by doing online courses or doing some specific courses which are part-time in India, part-time abroad. So international qualification may be required to work in some countries. Then next item is saving potential. What are the cost of living? How much money will I get? Many times we underestimate the cost of living, especially when you live abroad. For example, people get fantastic salary of $100,000, $120,000 for New York. But New York is an expensive place. The most expensive real estate in the world probably is in New York and Tokyo. So you underestimate the cost of living, and therefore the $120,000 will vanish. The second good example is Dubai. Dubai used to be a low-cost destination. Dubai cost of living has gone up significantly. So you need to do a lot of homework to find out how much does it cost, what is the saving I will make at the end of the day. But of course, the last one is the most important. When you work abroad, you got international exposure. Now, what does it mean? It means you will work with people of multiple countries. You will work with an Englishman, you will work with an Australian, you will probably work with a Pakistani. Now, international work culture means the ability to accept a variety of people, understand their strengths and weaknesses, work with them. So, the biggest advantage of working overseas, the biggest plus point is getting an exposure to work in a multinational, multiracial culture. And I think that's a big plus point.